My bad, y'all. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Two Scrippers, One Pole, and I'm your host, Mango. Excuse me. If you were listening to this, I just took really 5 minutes to record me eating a jelly sandwich. 2 jelly sandwiches, not one, 2. Um, Excuse me. That's why I'm burping. That's why I was drinking water in the beginning to wash it down my throat, because it was really a lot. So when I was younger, let me start with why I was eating a jelly on jelly sandwich, because I have a nut allergy. No pun intended. It's actually a low-key annoying whenever I do say that I have a nut allergy and then somebody automatically makes like a nut joke. I mean, it's cool when I do it, but when y'all do it, sometimes it be cringy. But anyway, so I actually I am allergic to tree nuts. So when I was younger, I used to eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and I used to eat like roasted peanuts. But I want to say I was probably around I had to be somewhere between 7 and 9. And it honestly could have been earlier than that. Well, let's say I was somewhere between 4 and 9. And I know that's like a big jump because it's 5 years, but I just know like it was in my childhood home when it happened. And I remember I was in elementary school, and that would have been the time frame. So the point is, before, like when I was 4 and younger, for sure, I used to eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and I used to eat peanuts because my mom used to always have them. But one day she brought home cashews, and I ain't know the difference, so I started throwing them bitches back like they was peanuts because I ain't know no better. And then the next thing I know, my tongue was itching like shit. Oh my god, it was itching so bad. And like honestly, I was a little kid with impulse control and just had no home training, clearly. So I just started licking the carpet. Like I was in so much despair, I did not know what to do with myself. And the only thing that made sense was lick the carpet. I don't know. Anyway, so I went to the hospital because then my body started breaking out in hives. Then they did a full body allergy test, and I found out that I am allergic to almost everything. Like the doctor really was like, yeah, consider putting her in a bubble. Like I've never met anybody who was allergic to grass. And I'm like, now that I'm an adult, actually grass is a common allergy. But I like, if they had just mowed the grass, then I couldn't play outside because my skin would itch. Just thinking about it, for my listeners, I'm scratching my hand right now. But that could also be like crackhead pass downs. Anyway. Wait. Because I really like, y'all, the crackhead jokes are so bad. Oh, it's in my blood. Anyway, back to nuts. So yeah, I broke out in hives, and I was in hives for a while. And I remember I had stayed home. I stayed home one day, and my mom bought me Chinese food. And that was one of the first times I remember having Benadryl. I was knocked the fuck out on that couch. Oh my god. Anyway, nut allergy. Why did I start this? I'm walking you through my different reactions to nuts. So at that point, I was just like, if it got nut in it, I'm gonna stay away from it. um, so I walnuts when I so I'm a little crazy, right? Okay, before I say that, I found out that walnuts is one of the only nuts that if it comes in contact with my body, that I don't break out in hives, because like the hives were I've never had hives since that first breakout, but they were like lumps on my body. I remember me and my mom were pointing out one of them on my leg. One of them that was on my leg looked like Texas. And then walnuts, it itches, and it's like a little rash. It's not red or anything, but my skin is just like raised and itchy and kind of ashy. But also like I be ashy a lot because I don't really be using lotion like that. But that's a whole nother story for another day, and I'm really not trying to go off on a tangent because I've already gone off on a tangent. So yeah, my mom likes like sundaes with walnuts and shit. So I used to make her sundae, but I couldn't put the walnuts on it. She would have to do that. And then it was like one time or she would just have to make them because she had to stop making brownies with walnuts. And then she had to do it herself or just eat it without walnuts. So then at work one time, I used to have people when I was serving. I used to have people make my sundaes for me, and it had well, I would do it with gloves, but then I had taken off the gloves and the walnut fell down my hand, and my hand broke out while I was at work, and I had touched my face, so half of my face had broke out. So then what I just started doing is, like, whenever somebody ordered a sundae with nuts, I would just have the person who makes it run it, so that I just wouldn't come in contact with it. But backtrack a little bit, back to me being a little crazy and insane in the membrane. So I had this crazy idea, right? Because I just swear I'm invincible. I had this crazy idea, like, let me swallow. Have you ever been swallowed up? Let me swallow some walnuts and see how I react, right? Crazy, insane. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I had my warm water ready, and I had an EpiPen ready just in case shit went down. I was prepared. At least, like, be safe, make good choices. Was I making a good choice? Technically, no, because it was unsafe. But I was being safe about the not good choice I made. And it ended up being a good choice because I realized, like, I was smart enough not to risk it again, but I was doing it for science. You know what I'm saying? The greater good. So I took a handful of walnuts and swallowed them. I did not chew them, and I drank water immediately. And I waited, and nothing happened. And I said, you know what? That was a higher power saying, bitch, you crazy. Don't do this shit again, or I'm going to give you what you want. And I didn't really want that. So I was able to, like, just say thank you, show gratitude, and keep it moving. So then as an adult, and I may have told this story before, I don't know, but I had went out of town with a partner at the time, and we were eating, I feel like I felt, oh, did I tell this story in the episode with Diamond? Oh, because I feel, well, I did just tell this story the other day verbally. I know that, and I might have gotten that confused with telling, but fuck it, I'm gonna tell it again. So, was out of town with a former partner. We went to this restaurant, and he had ordered ice cream before dinner, before breakfast, and the breakfast ended up coming out first. But for his breakfast, he had hazelnut pancakes with Nutella, and I've, like, always just stayed away from Nutella because, again, it has nut in the name, so I just leave it alone. So he had his Nutella nut pancakes. I had probably chicken and waffles because that's what I always get. And then his ice cream came. So we just minding our business. He eating his ice cream. He's like, yo, baby, you want some? I'm like, yeah, I'll try it. So I'm like, trying that shit. The next thing I know, my mouth get to itching. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on, bro? So then, my throat, I'm like, like, what the fuck? So I go to the bathroom, and I notice that my mouth is starting to swell up, and then I realize my throat is closing, and I'm, like, actively dying. I promise you, I think he was trying to kill me, but that's neither here nor there. So I'm, like, freaking out. I'm like, well, I was calmly freaking out because I came back out, and I was like, yeah, I'm having an allergic reaction. We need to go to, like, the nearest CVS and get some Benadryl because my throat is closing. And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah. So we GPSed it, and we walked, got in there. And then there was, like, the line was so fucking long, bro. Oh my God. And it was this lady counting pennies in front of me. So I started taking the Benadryl and drinking water before I paid for it. But then I paid for it, and then we went over. I did tell this story. I did. Oh well, you heard it again. So yeah, and I feel like there was another interaction I had with nuts as of recently that I don't know. But because I stopped eating nuts, I developed a mild reaction to peanuts. So if I eat something that has touched them, then it will cause a bump on my lip, and it'll make my throat itch or my mouth itch. But all I have to do is drink warm water, and it pretty much goes away. I'm not bothered by, like, I don't have any aromatic. I love the fact that I said that word. It's just coming so naturally. And this is the second time in my life I've ever said that word. And both times it's come so naturally. And that makes me feel so good about myself and my intelligence. Anyway, now talking about my nut allergy. Aromatic. It's not aromatic. It's just if I swallow it up. That's it. That's all. And then of course if it touches me, which is so funny because honestly, like when it comes to like adult nuts, right? I don't know why I awkwardly said nutting like that. I much rather have ejaculation inside me, and that's so fucking crazy to say. Yo, I can't take myself seriously. I'd much rather have ejaculation inside of me rather than on me. I really don't like cum on my skin. But sometimes I be into it, But also, I'm at a point in my life where it's like, okay, y'all really can't be busting no nuts in me because baby girl is not trying to have a baby girl. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that's neither here nor there. The whole reason why I started telling this story and I opened up with a jelly sandwich is because I was like, yeah, kill two birds with one stone, get this ASMR out the way from my clip sites. But also, I went to Dave & Buster's the other day with a friend, and it was the first time that we like went to the bar because both of us ain't eat all day. I think, what did I have that I feel like I might have had like an egg or maybe some oatmeal in the morning. It was something really simple. And then I had been running around, and I thought that we were supposed to go out later in the evening, but it turned out we were going through the day. But it worked out because I was hungry as shit. So we went straight to the bar. Fuck them games. We also got lost in Dave & Buster's. Like, it was, I really don't remember because we had to kind of walk through to get to the bar because we didn't go to Anne Arundel, which is like the lit one everybody be at, and then the one in Capitol Heights be a little ghetto, so we don't really go there. So we went to the one in Silver Spring, and I had only been there one other time, and I don't remember having like a bad time. It's just like so low key, nobody really be there. So we walked in some entrance and just magically ended up at the bar. But then when we was trying to leave, it was like we just kept walking back and forth because we had no idea how the fuck we got in there. And neither of us remembered, which is crazy. But back to being at the bar ordering food. So the waiter had asked, like, yo, do y'all have any allergies? And I said, I'm allergic to nuts. He was like, okay, cool, I got you. And did that man have me? Yes, the fuck he did. I've never had anybody in my life explain an allergy caution to me so thoroughly and so passionately. Like, that nigga was really looking out because backtrack, almost died on Thanksgiving. Me and my sister had went to this steakhouse in Annapolis, and when it comes to certain foods like potatoes and greens and mac and cheese, you can't just be eating anybody's, and especially not no fucking restaurants, right? Mac and cheese gotta look a certain way for me to even want to try it. Sweet potatoes, I'll get a little bit of something, a little spoonful and see what we working with, right? So that's what I did. And I'm sitting down. I get the tearing that plate up, right? So I'm like, all right, it's time to say, taste these sweet potatoes. Let me see what y'all working with. I licked that bitch up. Then I feel a crunch. I'm like, ooh, y'all ain't cooking y'all sweet potatoes? That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy as shit. So then I'm like, whoa, this a little bit too much crunch for an uncooked sweet potato. And then I get a little nibble. I pull it out. It's a motherfucking walnut. I said, oh, y'all trying to kill me. Y'all are so lucky. Honestly, I could have gotten a check right there. But that's not how my heart works, right? So I go back and look at the sign. It don't say nothing about no nuts. I'm like, all right. So I sit back down, and then the waitress comes and she's like, how is everything? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, does your sweet potatoes have nuts in it? She's like, yeah, I'm not really sure. I don't think so. And I said, well, I just found a walnut in it, and I have an allergy, and I'm in the middle of an allergic reaction because my mouth started itching. So you could tell baby girl was petrified. Okay. So I was like, you need to go back there and tell them to put signage on there because yeah, I'm having an allergic reaction and this is not safe. So the rest of the experience, everybody just kept checking on me without trying to say why they were checking on me. And I'm like, y'all should have like footed the bill or something, first of all. Like, anyway. So before we left, I asked my sister, I was like getting up. She was like, where you going? I said, I'm going to make sure they put a sign on that hoe. She was like, oh yeah, they got on it. I said, oh, okay. Because if I had got up and there was not a sign change, oh, I would have been coming for y'all next. Like, if it's one thing about me, I'm queen motherfucking corporate, okay? Chipotle better ask about me. Chevy's better ask about me. On the border better ask about me. If it's one thing I'm a motherfucking do, I'ma tell corporate about themselves, and I'ma get a free meal out of something. But with that being said, like, having my first couple of jobs in the food industry and like always just being a service oriented person, I'm not one of them people that as soon as I get upset, oh, I'm coming for your neck. Like, it depends on the attitude you give me, because I hate when people, like, I understand people need jobs and shit, but work in a service that suits you. If you are not a people person, if you do not have patience to deal with people, do not get a job where you constantly have to work with people. Okay? And if that's the case, if there's no other options, you better take some workshops, look up YouTube University, how to talk to people or something, because y'all just, this not even about that. I'm getting worked up. Let me take a breath. Y'all. So yeah, back to Dave and Buster's. He was just real thorough with the menu. So he gave my friend his menu, and then he looked at me and he was like, so everything on the menu is good. This right here, this salad comes with pecans, but if you really want it, we can do it without it. I just want to let you know that there, did he say there was going to be a chance of cross-contamination? I don't think he said that, but yeah, he did say, like, pointed out, like, this does come with nuts, but you can get it without it if you need it. So I'm like, okay, cool. So then he was like, all of our fried foods are fried in peanut oil, which I don't have an allergy to peanut oil, so I can still go to Chick-fil-A, I can still go to Five Guys, all of them places. I think Wendy's might do peanut oil too, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But I do know that, like, Chick-fil-A and Five Guys are known for that. And then he was like, but the drink you absolutely cannot have is like some peanut butter whiskey thing. I don't fucking know. But I ended up giving it some salmon, rice, and broccoli. Oh, that shit was so fucking torch. Oh my God, y'all. For a Dave and Buster's meal, that shit was so delicious. Oh my God, my stomach is just like craving that shit right now. So yeah, that was just like a really great experience. I was really taken aback, and I had thanked him for that, because in my 27 years, I've never had anybody be so, like, aware. And you would think, honestly, like, at this point, how common a nut allergy is, that this would just kind of be standard practice. Because, yes, you should, people should be aware of their allergies and should be able to, like, speak up and say, like, ask these questions. But realistically, not everybody does. Or does know. So I think they asking as a waiter or waitress, you should ask, do you have any allergies? Cause then what was the, yeah, like some people do have those allergies to peanut oil, but and you would think that's where I was going with that. You would think that people who have allergies would say something first, but they don't always. I don't know. Sometimes people's screws don't always be tight. Cause I knew some people who had like allergies to seafood and like soy. And we went out once, and it was a place that cooks food in soy and like also seafood. It was a hibachi place. And so it was like, all right, you should know to ask the waiter, can you cook my food separately? Because everybody else's food is getting cooked on this grill. So it's going to be cross-contamination. So it wasn't until somebody else said like, oh, these people have allergies, that they like, said whatever, and then got their food cooked. But it was like, yo, if, breathe. I'm sorry, y'all. I just got a text that just kind of blew me. Anyway, so I was talking about, yeah, like if it wasn't for that other person saying something, then it would have been 2 dead bitches at the Hibachi Spot. Crazy. So yeah, then while we was at Dave & Buster's, on the TV screen, it was trivia. And y'all, I guessed it right. I know what. or where this logic came from, but Shaq got a size 22 foot. So then me and my friend were really stuck on like, yo, that's a big ass foot. Like, is it 22 inches wide? Is it 22 inches length? Like, but either way, that's a crazy ass foot size. What does that even look like? This nigga's walking around with flappers. Like, that's insane. So then I looked it up, and it's a long ass foot. That's like, and it's a wonder if anybody who knows Shaq is listening to this, or Shaq, if you come across this, no disrespect at all. I'm fascinated by the size of your feet. When you walk, does the ground shake? Do you get a little, like, do you shake the room every time you walk in it? I know that's right. Anyway, so what else do I want to talk about? I'm trying to keep it within an hour, because the thing is, I be taking my fucking notes. I be on it. And then I let so much time pass because I be busy. Like, and that's the thing that really frustrates me. I don't think people really truly understand, or not understand, but I don't think people comprehend. Well, that's the same fucking thing. Thesaurus.com. Anyway, how busy I really am. And the other part of that is majority of the things that I do require me to be on my phone. So with all this content creation, I have to use my phone to record. I have to use my phone to transfer over stuff, to make whatever this and the third, or I'm watching stuff to edit it. Okay, so I need to focus on those things. And then I'm usually at school or at work or at my internship. Can't really be doing shit there because I'm trying to, y'all, and it's so hard. My brain be like, oh my God, so much stimulation. And I be trying to get out of it because the work be boring. But it's be so much. Take a breath. See, I'm getting overwhelmed just talking about it. And it's just like, I be trying to tell people that I be busy, and people don't be understanding, I feel like. Because I got, like, that's neither here nor there. That's not why I started this. How I got here, the days just be going, right? And I be writing down what I want to talk about, and then the next thing I know, 2 weeks done pass, and I'm like, oh my God, I gotta record, because if I don't record, then I'm gonna end up behind. And at this moment, we're still in February, baby. We're still in February. I am recording. I gotta record, I think by the time this come out, it is March. So I gotta go record Tales of a Sensual Findom. I gotta record behind the scenes pole play, and I gotta record Toy Talk. Like, oh my God. Which I will say that for Tales of a Sensual Findom, I will be continuing my conversation about my subs from last month's conversation, or I guess in this instance, well, that doesn't matter. I was gonna say this month's, but y'all are hearing this in March. So last month's Tales of a Sensual Findom, I talked about my experiences with 2 different subs. And so I have updates on both of those subs. And I also talked about food play a little bit, in terms of how to use food play to either incorporate it in the session, like more in humiliating ways as opposed to like some sensual ways. And then in Toy Talk, I talked a little bit more about food play, I think. And I talked about specific toys. So I have not decided exactly which toys I'll be talking about in Toy Talk at the time of this recording. But I'm thinking about pervertibles. And so if you don't know what pervertibles are, head on over to Patreon and figure out what the fuck I'm talking about. I mean, you could Google it for free, but like, hear my sexy ass talk about it. Slap me with that spatula, baby. Ah! And then in addition on Toy Talk, no, not Toy Talk. Yes, Toy Talk. I'll be talking about pervertibles, and then I'm not going to talk about butt stuff. I'm going to talk about butt stuff in April. But yeah, I don't know. Come over to Patreon and see what else I talk about. In Tales of a Sensual Findom, like I said, I'll be continuing. I'll give updates on the 2 subs that I mentioned in the first one. And I'll also go a little bit more into race play. I'm in the middle of evaluating my my kink list, and I have decided to add race play to my hard limits. Shout out to Goldie real quick. Like I said, I'm gonna talk more about it on there, but it was just like, One of them subs is into race play, and I just really thought it was like, he's not saying it, of course, but it's like it's given I'm a fetish because I'm black, and I don't really like that. Like, you're not picking up what I'm telling you to put down. Like, I know this ass is fat, my nigga. I know you want this ass in your face, my nigga. But you don't have to point out that my ass is big and black. That's a given because I'm black and it's big. You could say my ass is big and you want the big ass in your face, but I'll say I want that black ass in my face. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, my nigga? My wigger, actually. You're not even my wigger, because you can't even, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Breathe. Y'all, I just keep getting worked up. I keep getting worked up today. That's crazy. But yeah, check out these ads. Hey y'all, this is where anybody else would enter some witty, fancy, well thought out ad, but your girl don't got time for that. So what you need to do is head on over to Balesa using the link in the description and use code BBMango30. BBMANGO30 for 30% off your next order. And whoever ordered a toy the other day, shout out to you. Shout out to you. So the rest of you be like them and get a toy. So I went to that and I'm thinking, channeling like inner peace. And then that's when I just started to also kind of like sexualize myself. And it's like I'm doing what makes me feel good and what makes me comfortable. And so I just started thinking about all these different things that would cause someone to not have the full picture, um, to say something. And then it becomes this big thing. Um, First, let's talk like restraints. A good old scarf could do. This could also be used as a blindfold. Anything that's like that. So you got like a scarf, whether that's a hair scarf or a regular neck scarf. This is my cheetah print because y'all know I'm a motherfucking cheetah girl. Oh, with that though, if you're going to do booty hole play with these or any device, once you use something for the butthole, don't use it for anything else. Like, that is now a butt toy. So if you have a favorite toy that you're like, ooh, this would really feel good in my butt, go ahead and buy a second one, because you're not supposed to cross contaminate. Now, you could move it from one booty hole to the next booty hole. I wouldn't suggest in the same session, maybe like if you're using a condom, but don't go from the coochie hole to the booty hole or the mouth or any other orifices. And honestly, I'm tired of putting in effort in all areas of life. I just want to crawl into a corner and just let everything else happen for me because I'm so tired. Session start at $500 an hour. We can discuss the details of your session through email. So he messages me and is like, Black Booty Worship, Metro Point Hotel, if that's acceptable, $500 an hour. Deal? Who the fuck are you talking to, guy? Like, he really be out of pocket. That white privilege be screaming. Because who are you talking to? It's not me. It's not me. I know that. So then he was like, the only thing I would like for you to do during session is occasionally ask me who's a good white boy. I would rather not fill out the application again because the session will determine if we're going to do this more than once. I am hoping once might get this out of my system temperature. I just ignored him because, again, who are you talking to? And this is the biggest problem I have with him, is that like he really be trying to control the scene and tell me what to do or what he no. You obviously have the roles mixed up. Your cis white male privilege is showing very, very loud. um Talking about some deal, nigga, this ain't no deal or no deal. The fuck. So we're back. um what else I want to talk about? I can't find my pencil, and honestly it looks like all my devices are dying, and I'm trying to like record. I'm trying to keep it within a certain time frame, right? Because the last episode I recorded was like an hour and 30, like, after ads and stuff, it was damn near, it was like an hour and 50 minutes. And my computer started bugging because it was just like, yo, you don't got enough space. I'm like, if I had the devices, I wouldn't have this problem. But I'm looking for a pencil so I can scratch out. I gotta turn this light on. Ooh, I don't like how that looks. So we just gonna ride till like the lights actually do go out. The light will close the show out. I can't find my pencil. Oh my god. 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 Pencil. Pencil. Where are you? Where are thou, pencil? I don't want to get up too much because I ain't got no panties on. Okay, I got a pen. So let me cross out what I already talked about. Let me find my page. I've been having a little bit of a like crisis identity, but I'll talk more about that on Patreon too. I talked about that. So y'all tell me why. Oh god, excuse me. Last week a bitch got locked out the fucking house. It's so crazy because I was in here minding my business, and one of my projects for school is called this Agale painting, or a Gale project, and it's attributed to an art therapist. And to be honest, I don't know all the background. I just know that the original like directive or I don't even know if you will call it a directive or prompt, but you pick a medium and an object, and over the course of 12 weeks you keep recreating. So for my school project, we're doing it 7 times over. So I started on my second one, and I'm sitting here painting. I'm choosing to do a glass of wine and a paddle, and you're supposed to do one object, but like that got lost in translation when I was picking. I don't know, I just didn't hear it's getting dark, I gotta turn this on. That got lost in translation. That got lost in translation when my professor said it. I don't know, because when she went around and she was like, yeah, everybody say your objects and blah blah blah, and I was like, yeah, it's a wine glass and a paddle on a glass table. She was like, wait, what? And then I said it again, and she was like, so 3 objects, not 1. And I was like, well, technically it's 2. I just added the glass table in because I painted the first 2, and then I didn't want them floating in midair. And so then she was just like, okay. So then afterwards we talked, and I showed her, and then she made some comments about just like, why are you doing 3, like really think about your relationships to the object. And I've noticed a lot of the word change, what changes over time, which we have to write a paper at the end of just like the process of how that went for us. And so I don't really know if that's what I'm supposed to be doing, but I looked at the first painting and the second painting and like just took notes about what changed between the first and the second, and the environment and within the painting itself. And I know that we're supposed to write a paper looking at that, but I don't know if I'm supposed to examine changes between them as we're going. So I just decided to do it for that first one, and then I'll do an overall like comparison at the end. But I bring that up because when I was working on the second one, I'm sitting here painting. I had got my glass of wine. I sat down. I started with my watercolors. This time I did start in black and white, which I don't know. There's something there. But I'm working, baby's working. And then I had a friend come over. So I was like, all right, let me go take out this trash and go get them. So we get back upstairs. I put my key in the motherfucking door. That bitch won't budge. I mean, it was a brick fucking wall. So I turn it and it turned to relock itself, or I guess to just continue to be locked because it didn't relock because it didn't unlock. I tried to turn it the other way to open the door and that bitch would not open. Mind you, at the time of this recording, that was like 2 weeks ago. I called maintenance, emergency maintenance, to come get me. They still ain't called me back. The fuck? I called y'all motherfuckers twice. I was out there for 2 hours. And so I had to call my landlord. My landlord, mind you, I want to say this happened at 9. My landlord had to call a locksmith, and I was out of my house till probably like 11:30 going on midnight. And he came and he had to drill a hole in my motherfucking door. Like it was fucking insanity. So by the time I got back in, I was just like, I just want to get this done because the idea is that we finish it in one setting. So I'm like, yo, I just want to get this done. And I really don't like how it came out. I was getting really frustrated, but it's interesting because earlier that day I had such a good day. This is the Dave and Buster's day. Like I had a great day, and then I come back to that bullshit. So I was ready to get it over with. So that happened. What else happened? I got a couple of things. Y'all, I finished my yoga challenge. I finished it a week ago at the time of this recording. And so I've done like little small things of yoga, but I haven't actually sat down because like I do it with Yoga with Adrienne, and I finished her Flow 30-day challenge. So I'm thinking about doing another 30-day challenge, just so that I can continue to get back into the practice of it. Since I've taken a week off, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Usher concert in the football game because Usher baby, all right, I fucking love Usher. Usher just makes so much of my insides just boil in such a good and erotic way. I love that nigga. I love you, nigga, because I know somebody who knows you, or maybe you are listening to this, and I just want you to know, hey, hey daddy. Oh, I love you. But yeah, so the Super Bowl commercials, what's crazy is that me, Katie, and shout out Tajay, we had stepped outside before the halftime show so that we could, do a little bit of drugs. I'm not gonna lie. And we were standing there next to a fucking Tesla, and why did that bitch's light start going off? It was just like, yo, what the fuck is going on? What's happening here? So I bring that up too because I'm looking for something else. Because then when we step back inside, one of the Super Bowl commercials was talking about self-driving cars and Teslas and how them bitches be having a brain of their own and they just be doing crazy shit. And I said, there's proof in the pudding. Because when we was outside, that bitch was going off for nobody was bothered about that damn car. And it was like, hey, I'm here. And then, let me see, where is it? Because I want to make sure I have. Something else I wanted to touch on too is that a couple of days later, Impact, one of my favorite sources, they had posted, and I thought I favorited it. I'm trying to look at it. It was, and I don't remember seeing this commercial. But there was a commercial that was sponsored by Israel during the Super. Yes, here it is. So while the world was watching Israel's Super Bowl commercial, Israel was bombing the safe zone that they told Palestinians to shelter in. And then they shared the commercial that was posted. And it said, and while the world was looking away, Israel bombed Rafah, a Gazan city that civilians were told was a safe zone. Like, that's so fucking insane. Overnight, Israeli forces spent over an hour striking Rafah via planes, ships, and tanks. And they called the attacks a special operation that aimed to rescue 2 Israel hostages. At least 67 Palestinians were killed in Israel's strikes, with dozens of others feared dead. And I will make a note to, let me send this to myself. I'm gonna post it in, oh no, that's not what, I'm gonna post it in the story if you all want to go and look at that. But it was just like, I wanted to share that because I have been talking a little bit about what is going on over there. Why can't, let me focus on trying to send this to myself. Two scribbles. It gets real tough having multiple Instagrams. And but yeah, so I continue to just pray for peace and ceasefire, and pray that, people come to their senses and like find a way to work with each other, and not like, everything is so fucking greedy. And it's like your average person just living their life trying to survive in this crazy ass world has to take the heat and the just all of the pain and suffering, because motherfuckers with billions of dollars have no fucking, like, I don't know, I don't even know what. Yeah. And then also, what else I wanted to talk about was on February 20th. So at this point, it is now 5 days ago. Hadia Broadbent passed away. And if you do not know who Hadia Broadbent is, she was on. There's a very famous, popular episode, and I think it was in 19. I may be wrong. I don't remember what year it was. But she was featured on an episode of Oprah at the age of 11, and she was born, she was a lifetime survivor, and she was born with HIV, and then it turned into full-blown AIDS at the age of 5. And I also wanted to send corrections to twoscrippers1poll@gmail.com, because in the last episode, I also was talking about the different ways that you could contract HIV, and that is through like bodily fluids. I had said during birth, but you can also get it through breastfeeding. So bodily fluids, that's semen, that's blood, breast milk. So I just wanted to say that too. But I just wanted to take some time to honor Hadia. And I'm going to post, I don't know if there'll still be, at the time of this recording, they still are, but I don't know by the time this comes out if they'll still be accepting donations. But I'm going to put the link to her GoFundMe in here. But, yeah, it's just like when she popped up on my timeline, I was heartbroken. She was only 40 years old. And my brother actually got the opportunity to meet her when he was younger, at a public speaking event. And he said that like he was scared to talk to her because he hadn't actually like come out about his status yet. And, she has been doing advocacy for many, many years about HIV, AIDS, and being a lifetime survivor. And oh my god. Okay. Is it still okay? So y'all, my dad called. Why he always calling at inconvenient times? Um. So yeah, he was just saying that like, another thing with HIV is that it, because it's an autoimmune disease, it weakens your immune system, which makes you more susceptible to other sicknesses. And like a common cold could have the ability to take somebody out, to be honest. And so at one point she had gotten pneumonia and she was like really sick, and then she had came around and things had got better. But then, my brother was just saying that like after a certain point, the money dries up because people stop listening and people stop caring. And it's just like, this is, so, like I said last episode, there's so much that goes into this and things just pile on. And so it's really important to, share resources if you have them. And if that's monetary, great. If it's not, like if you know somebody or somewhere that can help someone out, just pass that forward, because you never know who's listening and who has the ability to help, or who you could collaborate with to really do some change. So yeah, shout out to all my peeps who are infected or affected by HIV, because it's not just the one person. If you have partners or other family members, that it can also have an impact on them as well. Um, a little bit about school. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I've been making art. I'm always making art, y'all. But this art is like, this semester is just really, everything is applying. So last episode I talked about some diagnostic cards that I worked on, and so now I'm working on the second series, and I was gonna show that. I'm not gonna show any artwork this video because I'm still working on everything. So I'm working on schizophrenia, PTSD, and dissociative identity disorder. And what's interesting is schizophrenia, I have 3 members who are in, at my site is a community center based site. So we call them members or artists, or member artists, or oh, there's one more word and I can't think of it. But the point is, we don't really use client. We're fostering a sense of community. So schizophrenia, I have 3 members that have that diagnosis, and it's interesting to see how it shows up in each of them. And then I also, a turning point for me for schizophrenia was actually after I quit teaching and I had to go take 2 other, I took abnormal psych and I think human development psychology to get the extra credits to qualify for my program. And there was a movie that I watched, and I believe it was called A Beautiful Mind, and that movie was so great, and that helped me realize or learn that schizophrenia isn't always a lifetime diagnosis. It could be an episodic thing. So that has been interesting to like see in real time and see how the media portrays it. PTSD is something I'm actually kind of dealing with right now, and it's just crazy to see how relevant that is, with me having been in so many car accidents. I remember the one that I got in with Katie, and then 2 weeks later mine, which was basically the one with Katie is where my life really changed. But I've talked about that several times. But after the one that I was in, my friend made a comment and was just like, "How are you not scared to drive?" And at the time, oh, please don't die, laptop. Please don't die. Please don't die. Okay. At the time, I had said, I there's nothing I can really do. Like, I just got to get over it. Either I'm going to have to drive or somebody's going to have to drive me, but either way I'm going to be in a car. It honestly, not to be funny, but with my luck, if I try to ride a bike or walk, like, somebody might smack my ass. I'm just like, do 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 pop, like, it's inevitable. So I rather just, drive myself. So I'm hesitant to be in the passenger seat with other people. And I'd rather drive myself. But last, maybe 2 weeks ago or a week ago, I don't know, it's all a blur. I had saw on the news where some guy stole a MDOT truck and fucking went on a chase around Silver Spring, Beltsville, and White Oak. And I I had stopped by my friend's house, and it was on the news, and we watched it real time, like him just no regard for other people. And it's like people are sitting at this traffic like minding their business, and then it's just like, here he comes ramming. Like, you were having such a good day and now you're in this. And I haven't looked back into what happened, but they did end up catching him. But watching that, and it was crazy, was obviously I didn't know that this was going on. So the people who were there, they didn't know what was going on. And I had just left the Beltsville area. I had literally just been around where they were. And then this morning, somebody like hit a parked car. I heard a crash. I look outside, and I watched this dude hit the car, get out. He sat there and looked like he was going to try to like leave some information. But then when I went outside to go drive in, I ain't see no thing on their car. So I'm just like, I don't know. And then the other night I had left out the house and I was driving, and I just felt like really, so I've been dealing with a lot of that the past couple of weeks. So I haven't started that card. And part of the reason why I haven't started that card is because like I'm still trying to look up all the criteria and stuff. But I don't the first set of cards I did like a person represented, and then on my schizophrenia card there's a person represented too. But I'm trying to think if I want to do like a person representation or a feeling representation. Do I want, because with PTSD, since it's resonating with me, do I want to convey how it's making me feeling using lines, shapes, and colors? What does that feel like? What does my feelings look like? I'm thinking like, for me personally, because it's related to a crash, like, some kind of like zigzag, jaggedy lines and like regular oranges for like tents. And I don't know. I'm still figuring that out. Because then it's like, am I doing like, do I want to make this for me, or am I making this for general representation? And so I have to continue to kind of look into like, what are the symptoms, side effects, or just like overall associated with PTSD. And then I haven't really touched dissociative identity disorder yet. In class, we in process, one of the things we also do is like role playing. So it was one evening, me and one of my cohort members, we got paired up, and they were the therapist, and I was pretending to be a potential client, or it was an intake. And so they're asking me, intake questions, reason for being here, history, all of that. So one of the questions, and I was trying to be like kind of narcissistic. So one of the questions was, have you experienced any loss lately? And I was like, no, all I do is win. So then they started laughing, and they were like, I meant, has anybody died? So then we both just started laughing, and at that moment, my teacher had ended up crossing or ending the time. But that just it's so funny. It was great. Then I've also been working on I've been getting into my spirituality, y'all. Like, I got altars, I've been praying, I've been doing stuff. I've been looking up like African spirituality. I'm really interested in hoodoo right now. And yeah, so I'm not going to talk too much about my spirituality practices, but as always, if you have any questions, send questions, stories, topics, and corrections to twoscrippers1po@gmail.com. But in regards to totem spirituality, I'm currently working on a response art piece to a film that we watched in class, where this man lost his son to a cocaine overdose. And so having friends and family members who have used crack or cocaine, that was something that really resonated with me. And then they were also talking about just like it was a Native American community that came together to create this like totem pole of grief and healing. And so there was a lot. It was like, and I've been building a connection with Alegua, which is an African Orisha, who is responsible of like opening doors and pathways, and just like your connection to like serving as a connection between the physical and spiritual realm. So that's what I've been working on. So with all of that being said, I did a really like thinking of process, and what goes into process, like how you're processing information and what are you doing. Like, it was a carved project. The actual project that I'm responding to was like a big totem. So I obviously don't have the materials to do a totem project, and how can I kind of mimic some of that? So there was like drumming, spiritual music in the background. So as I was working on my piece, I had used my materials to kind of mimic the sound of the drums, mimicking carving and using like an X-Acto knife. And there was like a mishap with trying to write the text in the artwork, and so it was like almost I had to like use the colored pencil real hard. And I know this probably doesn't, it's like, oh my god, I want to see the art. Y'all just gonna have to wait till our bitch is done. But yeah, so I'm saying all that to say is a bitch has been having. The crazy part is, y'all, why I ain't turn this fucking mic on? This is so fucking insane. I do this every goddamn time. Oh my god. It's okay, because I'm about to wrap it up soon anyway. Um, what else? What did I want to talk about? Oh, and then what I will end on. So I've talked about it before on here. One of my goals is to create an expressive art therapy center for youth. And the past couple of weeks, I have a love of children's books. I may or may not have said this part before, but in undergrad, I had to take a course on children's fiction and nonfiction, and I just fell in love with them. And so I actually went to the library today. I haven't been to the library in so long, and libraries are beautiful places, and there was just so much to work with, and oh my god, it was if I wasn't in such a rush today, I would have definitely stayed there and read these books. But I got some books because I do have a client who is a child with autism and is like kind of struggling with group integration, and he keeps asking me like, why can't I work with everybody else, because he's being separated from the rest of the group to work with me individually. And to be honest, when he first got with me, I didn't have all of like the details of what was going on, or like what behaviors was he exhibiting for this, to back this decision of like trying to work on integrating him. So I have to come up with a treatment plan, and I've just been kind of thinking and talking to people. And so he's having trouble like basically regulating himself. He'll like, it's a lot of inappropriate behavior, blurting out things, not letting people speak, and like, I don't want to say attention seeking, but for lack of words, and I'm feeling a lot of pressure because my laptop keeps making noise telling me it's about to die. But for attention seeking behaviors. So I went to the library and I found some books. My Mouth is a Volcano, written by Julia Cook. That Rule Doesn't Apply to Me, also by Julia Cook. So those two books I definitely plan on. I had looked up 3 other books: Just Like Me by Vanessa Brantley Newton, A Day with No Words by Tiffany Hammond, and The Boy with Big Big Feelings by Brittany Wynn Lee. The last 3 books, I looked up like children's books about impulsive behavior or autism or ADHD, and just like a couple of different things, and these were some of the ones that came up. But as I was reading them, they didn't really look like they applied too much, but I still wanted to get them because they looked so fucking awesome. If you're watching this, and I know my lights aren't as great, but if you're watching these, and I could take pictures of them and post them in here, but those are the 3 books. The other 2, my plan is to have him pick out one of these, and then I'll read it to him, and then we'll kind of create artwork and talk about it in response to the book, and see if that's kind of helping him understand, because I wasn't really sure how to like address it, because 1, at the time when he was asking me like, why am I not with them, I didn't really know the answer, but 2, like, I didn't really know how to. But I'm deciding to do this because with my adult group, I actually took one of my books called The Day We Begin, or The Day You Begin, by Jacqueline Woodson, and it's about these kids starting their first day of school and just like being nervous and feeling like they're hearing people share their stories and they feel like they can't compare. But then they end up finding out that like there's a lot of similarities between all of them. So I read that to my adult group and invited them to create artwork that it talks about or depicts a time where they were really nervous when they were starting something new, and they realized they didn't have to be as nervous because people were like them. And that was actually someone's first day to the group, and they responded really, really well to that. That person, which was interesting, had also talked about like their experiences with PTSD and handling all this other stuff. So it's just interesting to see how the things that I am working on in class or talking about in class are showing up in real time, and then also just kind of like my relation to him. So, yeah. Da, 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 da. Oh, last thing, like, white people really been like acting crazy and out of pocket this month. Cause I went to Black and Kinky with my cousin, right? And first off, it was some motherfucking white man in there cracking a whip. Like, I was like, yo, what is happening right now? This man was standing in the middle of the goddamn dance floor with a motherfucking whip, just like, whack, whack, whack. Like, and I don't know what the official name is for it, but it was just like, it made me so uncomfortable. And I don't know if somebody said something because eventually he stopped. But then I look at the bar and this man is standing behind the bar, like practicing his wrist technique. No, what are you, yo, like, what has happened? Then me and my cousin were standing watching some other people do like this birthday beat down to somebody, and these two white girls came up and they were just way too energetic and too chatty, and they're just like, and I think I had like my paddle and my flogger on me, and so they're just like, oh my God, are you guys getting ready to do a scene? And I was like, no, we're not. We're just watching. Oh my God, like, can I think I had said like not yet, or I don't know. I don't remember the exact exchange because at this point it was many weeks ago. But it was just like they really like, oh, the piece that I was wearing, the girls talking about like, oh my God, it's so cute and you can just like adjust it. You look so good. Da, 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 da. That's what it was. She came up and she started complimenting me and I was like, thank you. And I said thank you politely, and I was hoping it was like giving leave me alone. And then she was like, oh, are you guys getting ready to scene? Can we watch it? And it was just like, no, I'd rather you not. And then she's like, well, can we stand next to you and like watch it? No, you cannot. Like, at this point, I'm like slowly turning, hoping, is she just not getting the hint? And then like she starts looking sad, I guess, because she realizes how problematic she's being. And then her friend was like, I'm so sorry. Come on. And then they like left. So me and my cousin are like, yo, what the fuck is in the water tonight? So then there was like another guy and his friends that were just being weird, like they were giving weird aura. And I had did a scene with I don't remember who I did a scene with, but he had like tried to come up to me and ask me. He was like, yeah, what you do is amazing, like you look so good, da, da, da. And I was like, thank you. And then he's like, can I offer you a massage? No, you cannot. And so then I found out later, like, he had came up to Deshawn and then tried to touch her and ask her the same thing. And the what's also crazy is like Deshawn usually is nude. So she's just a nudist. My girl tits out, and she always so funny because she always got like something around her neck but no other clothes. Anyway, neither here nor there. But she said he came up to her and like touched her, like put his hand on her back and was like, would you like a massage? And she was like, first, like she moved her hand. First of all, hi, how are you? Don't go touching me. No, you can't give me no motherfucking massage. Then it was like I was doing another scene with Goddess J. It was Fireplay and Electro, and I felt him in the area just like lurking over me. Then he like sat down next to the area, and then later Deshawn was like, the dude came back up to her and asked her again and like tried to touch her again, and then he ended up getting kicked out. And then just in general, like, white people be white people all the time, and I just feel like they extra white people in this month. But that's also probably because it's motherfucking election year, and y'all know these motherfuckers get bold with Trump. Like, oh. Anyway, I done reached the hour and none of my shit died. I'm still mad about this fucking mic. Family Dollar, 3-4 items be like $39.71. That was a note that I took during the summer that I never said, but I was in Family Dollar getting something small for somebody, and the person in front of me definitely had no more than 4 items, and they shit rang up to $39.71. Why the fuck are y'all calling yourselves a dollar store when I'm walking out paying fucking, what is that? 4 divided by 40. That's $10 per item. Dollar store where, my nigga? We're in a... Breathe. Y'all motherfuckers be pissing me off. Y'all be safe. Make good choices.